Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, obviously, and welcome to Live Stream Tuesday. This is the time when I just go live, see who's online, and this week it's going to be a different time for you guys because depending on where you are, your time will be maybe an hour out with where I am because our clocks went forward over the weekend, so this might be an hour earlier for you if you are indeed watching it and if we actually find anybody online, because of course nobody's expecting me at this time. So it might just be a case that nobody comes on because they're all thinking they've got another hour to then tune in. But as I said, it's almost, well, it's just gone midnight here, so I'm starting exactly on time for the new timing. So maybe this week will be a little bit of a trial and error to see who is actually online at this time, but next week it will be at this time, whatever this time is, wherever you are. But I'm going to get started with the show and hopefully some people will filter in as we continue on with it. And the first request that I had was actually from last week, and that was over on Patreon, and I'm going to get playing with this track. This is one of my tracks called Don't Cry, and hopefully when this goes live after the track there'll be a few more people there. So thank you guys. We've just got a few people channeling in now, so Laurie's in the house and Stephen as well, and Josie and Marco and Juan, if that's a silent J. Thank you guys for tuning in. I just mentioned how I'm online at a different time, so it's good that people have tuned in because I'm a little bit earlier tonight. But anyway, this is going to be my track called Don't Cry. I hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see who's in the house after this video. But check this out and I'll see you afterwards. Rock!
Only empty spaces.
And that was my track called Don't Cry. I hope you enjoyed that. We've got some super chat donations already. We've got Jackie who donated $1.99. Thank you so much for that, Jackie. That's much appreciated. And we also then had Leonard who donated $10. Thank you for that, Leonard. And then Kathy, not to be left out, donated $20. Thank you so much for that, Kathy. Just amazing to have early donations already. Thank you so much. And who has spotted the difference from when I was online a second ago? I totally forgot to put that like and subscribe thing in the background, so I managed to just do that quickly whilst that video was playing. We're going to see how many likes we can get tonight, but because I'm on at a different time, maybe it's going to be a little bit tricky, but we'll see if we can get up to about 200 likes, because that's what we managed to do last time amazingly. But of course last time everyone was expecting me to be online, whereas here I've jumped on an hour early because of the changes in time. I think we're now in British summertime, so that's why it's going to be an hour earlier for you guys, maybe over in the USA. And if you're on the other side of the planet, then maybe it's an hour later. I'm not really sure how it all works, but thank you guys for tuning in. We've now got a lot of people through the door. So hello everyone, James and David and Laurie and Kathy and Smoking Dalbadoo 420. Thumbs up everyone. That's very good advice. So getting into this show tonight, I'm just going to mention something interesting because I find it interesting. I did a video on Billy Strings and Marcus King, and yesterday I was chatting with Billy, actually Billy Strings, because he watched the video and he's watched some other videos and he says he really likes the channel and all that kind of stuff. Just going to interrupt myself because Juan Martinez has just put $1.99. Thank you so much for that. And he says, great song and performance, keep them coming. I will do. I'm not sure if that 10 at the beginning was meant to be the donation or just 10 out of 10. I don't know. But thank you for that, Juan. That's much appreciated. But yeah, back to just talking to Billy, because it's great that there's a little bit of that young audience to the channel as well, because I think my channel just has so many different age groups that tune in and just watch the different artists that I feature, so it's great. So now I have Billy as a member of the audience, which is great, as well as some other guitarists that I feature to also watch, so that's really cool. And now over 47,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. I mean, that just sounds crazy, but thank you everyone for subscribing and tuning in and interacting with the comments. You know, it's just great to have that kind of audience, so that now I can start to put videos out there. And I always have put videos out there just featuring all kinds of guitarists, all ages, and it's great to give some guitarists exposure that might not necessarily get a lot of exposure themselves. But anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be getting into the other requests that I had over on Patreon for tonight, and I'm just going to check that page quickly now, because we had a suggestion from Laurie. I actually did have a request from last week for Is This Love by Whitesnake, which I did a while ago, so I think that was Paula that requested that one. So that's going to be the first cover video that I'm going to be playing in this show, and we'll see what we can get through, because then I'm also going to play one of my live stream tracks, which I actually released a track last week that did a lot better than I was expecting it to, because I had an analysis video that unfortunately got cancelled. It got blocked worldwide because of copyrights, which can happen. It's rare, but sometimes just something can't be reproduced in any form for any reason whatsoever, and that just happened to be the case. So I then released my live stream version of Haunted that it was, and yeah, that had a really good response. I think that's had over 14,000 views now, which is great, because I was expecting to get like 2 views or something on that, because everyone was expecting an analysis video. But I'm going to play now this cover track that I did. This was Paula that requested this one, and this is my version of Whitesnake's Is This Love, and I hope you guys like it. And I had a smoke machine and everything in this one, which of course on the live stream gig that I did, I forgot to use at all. But anyway, I hope you guys like this, and I'll see you guys after it. Rock! And there it was, my cover of Is This Love by Whitesnake. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And just, I think Dan said, where's the love? So if everyone can hit that like button, that would be great. I'm not sure how many likes there are at the moment, but if you do hit that like button, if you like what you see and you work your way through the door and just hit the like as you enter, that would be great. And I just want to say, during that, we had a donation of $1.99 from Jackie. So Jackie Jean, thank you so much for that. And she says, sure is, we love you. So thank you for that, Jackie. It's massively appreciated. Thank you for all the donations tonight so far as well. And we've just had another donation from Red King TTRPG, who says, quickly have a look, would love to hear your take on Love Removal Machine or Fire Woman by The Cult. So thank you for that. I'll make a note of that suggestion, put it on my suggested covers list, because a lot of people do ask me to do particular tracks, and yeah, I work my way through that pretty much in the same way that I do with the analysis videos and all those requests that I get. I just work my way through them, and obviously if I'm doing a cover of something and I really like the track, I mean Whitesnake is right down my street in terms of what I'm into and what I listen to, and also I love playing guitar solos, especially by kind of players that have got a distinctive style, because then you get to change your own style a little bit and play a slightly different way. But yeah, so those suggestions, I'll work my way through them. But thank you for the suggestions and thank you for the donations. That was Jackie and then Red King TTRPG. So I had another question which I'm just going to quickly address. That was Jay or Pommy Ray Nee Ian over on Patreon, because he says, any comments on EU copyright laws? And that's something that there's a law in this, well, not in this country, but in the EU, where we are currently a part of, but we're not going to be soon, and that's the UK. So I'm not sure whether the law is going to change, whether we're going to have our own laws on copyright and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, there's this EU law that they're trying to bring in. Actually, it has been passed, but I think in order for it to become law, it has to be voted on in all the other EU countries independently. I'm not sure how many there are, 28, 29, something like that. They all have to give it the go-ahead. And I can't really see that happening because of the amount of objection there is to the law. It basically means that you won't be able to use anything on the internet that you don't own the rights to yourself. And basically it means that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and especially YouTube will all be cancelled pretty much. You won't be able to upload, and there's even people saying that it might be a ban on uploading in Europe because you can't actually keep a track of what people are uploading, so you just won't be able to in the first place. So I can't see that law actually going through, but even if it does, there are ways to upload in the USA, which means that their laws are a lot more sensible, and it might just mean that I do that, either move to the USA or upload from the USA, but work a way around it that way. But anyway, let's have a little look at what's going on here, because Frederick Height has donated $7.77, so thank you for that. That's a very specific amount. There wasn't a comment with that, but thank you for that, Frederick. That's much appreciated. Again, thank you guys for your donations. And at this point, I just want to bring in the reason that I can do this and also update my equipment so that it actually works. It's just because of my patrons and the support that I actually get in these live streams, these donations that you can see over that side of the screen, because it makes it so much easier to keep moving forward and improve things and actually just keep everything going as normal. Because if stuff doesn't work, it means that I literally have to not do a live stream or not do an analysis video. So I just want to get these names going across the screen, and this will be happening for the rest of the stream, because these are my patrons who I'd like to say a massive thank you to for making it all possible, for their support. And if you want to get involved yourself and have your name on the screen, then head over to patreon.com/Wings of Pegasus. But yes, it's just an interesting thing, that EU law. I don't want to spend the whole show just talking about copyright laws, but it is one of those things that unfortunately a lot of people do use on YouTube, people's tracks as their own kind of song, to make it or at least make their video more interesting. Like, say for example, me having this live stream, and then in the background I've chosen somebody else's music that's really cool and makes it sound great, but I don't own that. That's where it gets a little bit dodgy. Like, if you're looking at something and you're analysing it and you're trying to educate, and it falls into a different bracket. And also, if you're monetized like my channel is, the copyright owners make money from ads on your videos, so there's an incentive really for them to keep it up there if it's giving them exposure, but then also making them a bit of revenue. Whereas the pages or the channels that aren't actually monetized, it means that there's no positive for the person who owns that copyright, apart from somebody else using their track and their video getting a few views because it's got cool music on it. And everything you can hear in the background here, by the way, is me playing. So I just put all these tracks together, this background music. So yeah, so I'll make sure I don't breach any copyrights. But anyway, that's enough about that. We're going to have a little look down the list again, because Jackie's just done another $1.99. Thank you for that, Jackie. She says, please do Smooth with Rob, Thomas and Santana live. I could do that. That's quite a good one. I might have to think about doing that one, because it's got some cool guitar in there as well, and I'm definitely partial to a cover with some cool guitar in it. Let's see. David says, you can't do the cult without a Gretsch. This is the start of a Gretsch fund. Oh, thank you. David's done a donation of $5, and that is to start off me getting a Gretsch guitar. So we will see how that fund goes, and maybe it's going to be good for a workout, because it's probably a fair bit heavier than my standard guitar that I use, especially my Ibanez, but we will see how that goes. Thank you so much for that, David. Thank you for that donation. That's much appreciated. I'm going to be getting into now playing one. Oh, by the way, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button as well, because that means that you'll get an indication as to when I've done a new video, which, if you're not in the know, it is every night I do a new video without fail. At least, fingers crossed, I've done, I think, 10 months without missing a night yet. So we'll see how long I can keep on going with that output. And I'm just quickly going to look down here. There's a question about the copyrights, about my own stuff. And let me just get to Bethany Dawn, who's just donated $4.99 and says, please do Triumph Fight the Good Fight. I've just done Triumph. That was out a few days ago on Patreon, and that was Lay It on the Line that I did. That was a real challenge, that track, but that's on the Patreon page, so my patrons are currently dissecting that and digesting that. But yeah, so Triumph is already one of those bands that I've actually covered. But certainly Rick Emmett's voice is so absolutely unbelievably cool, and his range and just everything about it is so difficult to get anything close to that. But thank you for that suggestion. Let me just interrupt myself. $10 Launch One, who says, hi, my name Eric from Oklahoma. I enjoy your channel. I'm a musician and I know how much work and time it takes to do these videos. Thanks, keep on rocking your 80s sound. So thank you for that, Launch One. It is a lot of work, especially when you work as well, you know, in terms of doing a job. I'm a guitar teacher. That's what I've been doing today. That's what I do during the day. But yeah, it takes quite a long time, but this kind of stuff I enjoy doing. So it's not as if it's a real hassle to do. And analysis videos, I love looking at other players and also looking at other music and listening to other music that I might otherwise not have been exposed to unless people are suggesting these videos. So it's cool just that way to actually find all these other artists and then give them a little bit of exposure as well, because us musicians have to help each other, especially independent musicians, because I think in the future there's a chance that certainly the playing field can be leveled somewhat with the big labels. And just talking about my own music and that question that came through about copyrights, I'm on iTunes and Amazon and wingsofpegasus.com and /store if you want to head over there to get my album called Persistence. But in terms of the copyrights I have on my music, obviously I own all of it, And that's where I've mentioned before when I went on a show called The X Factor, and now Simon Cowell has to pay me to play my music because I own it. And that's something that a lot of people going on TV shows don't realise, that if you don't own your music, they will just use you and abuse you and you get nothing out of it. Whereas you can go on these things with a bit more knowledge and experience, and you can actually make some money for yourself. But anyway, that's a whole nother story, a whole nother live stream or video in itself. But I'm on TuneCore, which is a company that basically upload your music for you, and there's an option there where you pay a monthly fee for them to have the publishing rights, or at least keep a track on your publishing, which means that whenever my music is used, if it's ever used on the internet, then they chase that up and get me that royalty. And that's exactly what happens with TV shows and stuff, that they're just making sure that I'm getting everything that I'm owed because I own the music. That's the most important thing, is just try and own everything that you do. And if somebody comes along and says, oh, I really love your music, just sign on the dotted line and I'll make you famous, don't do it until you've read the contract. And half the time people don't realize that when you sign a record deal, they are taking 90% of everything. So every time you get played on the radio, you should have 30 or 40 pounds, that's like maybe $60 in your bank account for that one play. If you get on a playlist and they're playing you 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, you should be looking at $150, $200 every day for them playing your song. And it doesn't even have to be a big radio station. So just make sure because that's where the labels make all their money. It's just all the royalties that they're taking away from the people that wrote the material, the actual talent. So yeah, make sure you own your stuff. And even if you don't sell a lot, and even if it's not played on the radio, at some point it might be. So it's just good to ensure that you have those rights to yourself. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hit that like button if you get a chance, because that would be much appreciated. I'm not sure how many likes we're up to. And Frederick said, what did that just say? Because it disappeared. It was 111 likes, 109 people watching, or maybe it was reversed. But at the moment there's 117 people watching, just waiting for the number to stop. And if you could all hit that like button now, that would be massively appreciated. We're trying to get up to 200 tonight. That is the target. And Gang of Four's in the house again. Hello, he says, hope you hit 50,000 dubs, which is another word for subs, soon. So thank you for that. I hope so too. 47 is just insane anyway. So I'm so happy just being at 47,000, because I was just at just over 1,000, maybe 1,500 for a few years. And yeah, now everyone's kind of interested, and we've got a really cool community here on YouTube, because the comments section normally on YouTube is quite a negative place to be, whereas on this channel it's great because we get to talk about guitarists and also share stories about gigs that I'm actually looking at and people that are actually there on the night. But anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. We've got Chris Lee in the house. We've got Lance and Jackie and Jen and Tara, who says 124 likes. So keep smashing that like button throughout this next video that I'm going to play, which is my track called Hero. And this is from the same live stream that I released my Haunted track to the masses on this channel the other day. And this is just another track which is also on my album called Persistence, which I plugged earlier. This is called Hero, and again, I hope you like it. I'm going to be able to see all the comments whilst I'm putting this video on, and it's always the same. I'm always looking at the comments when the videos are on. So I'll see you guys after this. Rock! So that was my track called Hero. I hope you guys liked that one. And yeah, I was reading through the comments, and somebody just said about having moderators on the channel, which I haven't got yet. I've got to still look into that. And also, yeah, there is a spelling mistake at the beginning of the video that was on the live stream that just had Hero with an E on the end. Initially, what I did was I'd written that track as effectively saying that the person's name that I'm referring to in the whole song was Hero as a surname, but then so many people said, oh, you spelt it wrong, that I just thought I'd change it back to the normal spelling to save me having to explain the song. But then if people want me to explain the song, then I can do at a later date without having to just correct. Yeah, I don't have to say, oh, well, it's meant to be spelled incorrectly. It does just look like a mistake, so now it's just Hero with an O. So just normal spelling. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and for hitting that like button. If you have hit that like button, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. That's just everything. Just hit the like button if you can. And let me have a look on the screen, because for some reason now my like and subscribe is changing color or doing something funny. So there you go. There's a sign for you that you've got to hit the like and subscribe button, because it's changing color and I don't know what it's doing in the background. That is weird. But anyway, thank you for tuning in, everybody. And I did have another request to play another cover that was over on Patreon, and that was Laurie, who's in the house here tonight somewhere, because she asked for Power of Love, which I did, I don't know how many months ago that was, maybe a few months ago, but unfortunately I don't think I've uploaded that to this program that I use, so I won't be able to show that. But I might have a little search through for another track, see if I can find anything. Maybe I'll do something that's a little bit up-tempo and a little bit rocky. I don't know, I'll have a little look down the list, and if anybody has any ideas, then you can suggest them. But I might put on some Dokken, which is an old 80s band, and yeah, Don Dokken and George Lynch, of course, as well on guitar. But I might have a little play through a cover of that in a second. But anyway, Jen says for 2 kicking guitar solos, sigh and a happy face, and she's donated $10. So thank you for that, Jen. Massively appreciated. Thank you so much, everybody who's donated tonight as well. But that was Jen Rat, who's just donated $10. So thank you again. So I'm gonna probably get into playing another cover here. So far, it's not too bad. I thought that everybody would not even see this because I'm on an hour earlier than normal because of the change in time, but it seems like we've got a lot of people in the house. We've got 114 people. So if you are one of those 114, if you could hit the like, that would be much appreciated. Just hit that like button throughout this whole live stream and through all of the videos if you want to. Thank you everyone for tuning in, spending time on this channel, and spending Tuesday night with me here. It's much appreciated. And I'm gonna now play a Dokken cover here, and this is gonna be, as Laurie just said, in my dreams. So I'm gonna get this up on screen. Hopefully this is gonna work, because I didn't set this up for tonight. This is just literally shooting from the hip, and we'll see how this works. Hopefully it comes on and everything works fine, and I'll see you guys after this video. Rock.
In my dreams it's still the same. Your love is strong, it still remains. Toss and turn all night in the sheets, and I can't sleep. Night after night, I don't know love is strong, it still remains. In my dreams, you're still by me, just the way it used to be.
Hello! And there we go. Oh, I said hello and then interrupted myself because at the end of every video I go through the same thing as you saw at the White Snake video that I did. The names go up the screen, but I don't want to show you all that again because you will get very bored very quickly. And all the names that you can see at the end of the videos are actually going across the bottom of the screen here, my patrons. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was, yeah, a little bit of Dockham with, yeah, some interesting harmony lines in there, and it always takes a while to get all the different harmony lines figured out because listening to a track without hearing all those other instruments is sometimes tricky to get exactly what each harmony line is doing. But anyway, I hope you guys like that. A couple of things that I saw in the comments about the guitar playing is that in one comment, actually I had it quite a while ago, I don't think tonight, but somebody said, oh, George Lynch plays a certain part of the solo, the bit that I tap, he plays that with his little finger, but I have got small hands, so I have to find a workaround to play some of these lines that the guys who have bigger hands can play. Sometimes you have to find workarounds, which is exactly what I did then. And also having the thumb, or my thumb, over the top of the guitar, and also not over the top of the guitar. Generally what you'll find is that with a lot of players, you'll have sometimes that thumb over the top to supply root notes of chords, and it also makes bar chords a lot easier to play because you're not kind of having to manufacture your hand into an awkward position. And I do see as a teacher a lot of people that have wrist problems because they're just playing bar chords all night and it's such an unnatural position to hold your hand in. But then having a thumb over the top, it's just like clenching a fist, so you can maintain that for a lot longer. But anyway, when you do start to play scales and 3-note per string scales, you will need to have your thumb behind the guitar in order to make the stretch, especially if you do have small hands. So you'll see it pop behind the neck for those 3-note per string scales, and yeah, just to make those achievable in the first place. But that's why that thumb pops up and then pops down again, and you'll see lots of players doing that, and it's something to look out for. You'll generally see when they are wanting to stretch, that thumb disappears. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We've got 135 people in the house tonight. Thank you so much, and if you could hit that like button, that'd be much appreciated. Chris DIYer says, do you do hand exercises? And no, I don't do any hand exercises. The only exercises that I do teach guitar during the day, so my hand is always pretty much exercising on the fretboard, and I haven't had a problem yet. I think because I play bar chords with the thumb over the top, it takes a lot of stress out of playing, and especially teaching. If I was teaching lesson after lesson, especially on acoustic guitar with heavy strings and getting bar chords down, holding those down for a long time, you do get problems with wrist, kind of the bones of the wrist, and yeah, it can be a bit of a nightmare, and repetitive strain injury as well, RSI. So I tend to try and get people to play bar chords with the thumb over the top if they can, just because it means that you'll be able to play for longer without any wrist issues. At least in my experience, I've been teaching for 15 years, and that's just what I've seen. But yeah, if you want to practice that, I had to relearn chords in order to have that thumb over the top, and especially then watching videos of Jimi Hendrix play, he always had his thumb over the top, and I thought, well, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So I started to then learn that way of playing. It also means that you can blend lead guitar with rhythm guitar, which is also a really cool thing to be able to do. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and hitting that like button if you have. What are we up to? Laurie says 179 we are up to with our likes. So that means we've only got 21 more in order to hit that 200 barrier that we're trying to reach for, and we've got 137 people in the house, so we've got a lot of people here. If you could hit that like button, that would be great, because it means that we'll hit that, definitely that 200 hopefully tonight, fingers crossed. And I'm online at a different time to normal according to those updates in the time that's just happened here. Anyway, some people have said, oh, Vi has huge hands. That's another thing. Yes, Steve Vai, when you watch him playing, it's just crazy in terms of the span that he has. Even more so, probably Buckethead, if you know who Buckethead is. I mean, that guy, I think he's 6'7", and he has to have his guitars actually scaled up because his hand is so big, and yeah, pretty much the opposite problem. But then again, you do get some players who have the guitar scaled down for their hand size because they do have such small hands. And I just tend to play standard size guitar, so yeah, I just stretch over. I tend to actually stretch with my second finger to do bends as well, because then you're leaving two other fingers free, and it's always better to have, in my opinion, fingers free to play more notes if you want them, rather than potentially sacrifice a finger and not have one left for an idea that you have in your head at the split second, and then you haven't got a finger free to play it. So that's what I tend to gravitate towards, just using that second finger as much as possible to get those stretches in, because I have smaller hands. But anyway, Jackie Jean says 192. Laurie says 192 as well. Thank you guys so much. Robert says you should live stream from a music store. That would be a good idea, but then maybe I won't get a very good upload speed. I know that here I'm hardwired into the internet, so hopefully everybody is getting a decent video at least, and it's not too jumpy. But just a massive thank you to you guys again for tuning in and for interacting with all these videos I do on YouTube every night with the analysis videos. And it's 1:45 here, so it's getting a little bit late. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be able to stay online for, but I think we are almost at 200 likes. We've certainly got a lot of people watching, which is great. Thank you so much everybody for tuning in and for the donations tonight on the live stream. I'm going to just have a quick read through, even though we can't see it on the screen. We had Jackie Jean and Leonard Duke and Kathy Pryor and Juan Martinez, and then Jackie Jean again, Red King, TTRPG, and Frederick Height, and Jackie Jean again, and David Via and Bethany Dawn and Launch One and Jen Rat. Those are the super chat donations for tonight. Thank you guys so much for that. It helps so much. Again, these guys at the bottom of the screen, where am I pointing? I can never point in the right direction, but those are my patrons who are also in the house tonight. They tend to come over for these live streams. So hello patrons, thank you so much for tuning in and for joining me over on Patreon every night as well. And Laurie just says 202 and 203. So thank you guys for that information. That is much appreciated. I'm just trying to think whether I can squeeze in another track. Maybe I can. I did get a, let me have a little look here. I'm just going to actually refresh this screen that I'm looking at on Patreon, because sometimes people request something, and Eve did request something, but that was just to do some Def Leppard in the future. So maybe I can get a Def Leppard cover track going. But also Laurie, who I didn't play The Power of Love because I didn't have it on here. Maybe I can find my track. Paris Nord is what Laurie wanted to hear. So I'm going to have a little search for this. I think This is going to be my Paris Nord track, and this is going to be the last one of the night. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for tonight. I'm going to chat to you guys just after this video. This is going to be my Paris Nord. I'll jump into the comment section while this is on. If you can hit that like button, that'd be great, because this will be the last song, and then we'll see if we can get the likes up to a new record level. But anyway, this is my track called Paris Nord, requested by Laurie. I hope you guys like this, and I'll see you guys afterwards. Rock!
Skies, both hypnotized. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris, Lord. So unfair, you left me there. Truth and 9:35 from Paris Road. In a heartbeat, you were gone. Like ships in the night, love at first sight, holding you tight. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris. So unfair, you left me there. Choose the 9:35 from Paris Road. Left with just her aroma from my standstill adventure. Now I'm stuck in a world of regret. And it's 9:35. I'm not happy, but I feel alive. So much I wanted to say, but now it's too late. Find a way, find a way. Spend the night with you in Paris Road. So unfair, you left me there. Took the 9:35 from Paris Road.
So that was my track called Paris Nord, and I hope you guys like that. And during that track, We had a lot of activity, as you could probably see on the screen. I'm just going to have to look up a little bit because we had, first of all, Charles Wagoner, who donated $10. Thank you for that, Charles. Charles? I can't see that. That's probably from listening to Voodoo Child too much. And that's another thing that people always get confused, is Jimi Hendrix track called Voodoo Child and Voodoo Child. And the Child is I think it's about a 15-minute jam track that was on the album, and Child is the track that everybody knows, which is like just 4 minutes, around that in length. So people get that confused because on the video that I did an analysis of, people said, oh, it's not Voodoo Child, it's Voodoo Child. Whereas I've listened to Hendrix more than enough to know the difference between those two. But anyway, thank you for that, Charles. And Jen Rat also donated $5, and she said, saw a shirt that has an electronic guitar built into it. Thought of you. Actually built into it. Wow, that would be impressive if you've got a shirt that actually has a guitar built into it. I'm not sure how that would work, but anything's possible nowadays. Launch One donated $10 again. Launch One did $10 before that, but thank you so much for that. And that was, they had a message that said, this is for last week. I missed you last week. So thank you for that. That's much appreciated for donating for last week as well. And then we had Natural 2112 Science, who says rock and rock horns, and that was $5. Thank you for that, Natural 2112 Science, or as I said last time, I think 2112. And then we had Rodney Benefield, who said, I love this song, so thank you for that, Rodney. I'm glad that you liked it, and that was $5 as well. So thank you for that donation, Rodney, and everyone that I just mentioned, because it just makes such a difference, these donations, because it just means that I can keep on pushing forward and also save up some money, because I've got some things that I would like to buy. I would actually like to get another microphone, condenser mic, so that I can do vocals and not have to move the same mic around the studio, because when I do vocals and then record my guitar, I have to keep moving and unplugging and doing that kind of stuff. So it would be a luxury to have an extra mic, but I'll be saving up for that. So a lot of this stuff will just go in that kitty as well, which would be great. Just amazing that you guys are donating during these live streams. And again, massive thank you to my patrons as well, who most of you guys are already in the house here, so you know who you are. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. If you do get a chance, please hit that like button before the end of the stream, because I am going to call it to an end now. If somebody can let me know how many likes we got for tonight, it would be interesting to see, because as I said at the beginning, this is going to be a different time and people might miss it. So they'll literally come on in 4 minutes time and then realize that there's actually no live stream, that it's already been on. So we've got 217 apparently, a lot of 214s, 213s. Maybe it takes a bit of time to update as to where you are in the world, but maybe it was 200. Well, now we've got 219, so it's going to be around that ballpark. Thank you so much, guys, for everybody that's hit that like button. It's really much appreciated. And hello everybody in the house, and with Brad's in the house as well. Hello Brad, hope everything's okay. And Robert and Charles and Gang of Four and Atari Dude and Scott and Matt and Laurie and Kathy and Fear Division Distraction, I only just managed to get there, and Mary as well. Hi guys, thanks for all the comments and interacting with me here tonight. I'm now going to call this a night. Again, donations, everybody, thank you so much. And it really does mean the world that everybody just tunes in and just comments on the videos and joins me for live stream, because there's so many other things that you could be doing. So I'm honored that you would find time to spend with me on a Tuesday night. And next week, maybe it will be a few more people who actually will be able to join in, because they'll know from this week that the time is now changing. But also, hopefully the title of this stream is wrong, and I have changed it, but I'm not sure it will be corrected until I make this video public later. So thanks for the heads up that it's the wrong title, but YouTube just keeps changing it back to last week. But anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in and for listening. And I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay for the after party because it's almost 1 a.m. here, so I have gone on a little bit tonight. But thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the suggestions as well to those people over on Patreon who then give me things that I can play in the show tonight. And thank you everybody for your comments. I'm going to see you guys hopefully next week at the same time, same place. If I don't see you guys next week, then I will see you at the next analysis video, which will be tomorrow night. I'll see you in the comments section. And if I don't see you there, maybe I'll see you on Patreon or at my next cover video, because those come out once every month as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next week, and have a great week and a great weekend. And above all, just make sure that whatever you're doing, you're just being nice and a nice human and just rocking out at every available opportunity. But thank you guys so much. I will catch you guys later. Rock!